The Detroit Pistons are coming off the worst season in franchise history after finishing 14-68. They have a big offseason ahead with the announcement of hiring a president of basketball operations to oversee all aspects of the organization. We don't know yet if general manager Troy Weaver or head coach Monty Williams will keep their duties. But that doesn't matter because I'm going to fix the Detroit Pistons in this video. If you haven't already, please take a quick moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to rebuild this thing two different ways. One with the dream scenario offseason where everything goes their way. Literally the best outcomes for the Detroit Pistons to save this story franchise. And then the other option is going to be a more realistic approach. We'll start with the dream scenario offseason. So picture this. It's the Phoenix Suns. They get swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kevin Durant says he's had enough. He wants out. And he tells Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, trade me back to Oklahoma City. Then the dominoes start to fall. Devin Booker then requests a trade to return home to his hometown team, the Detroit Pistons. So in this hypothetical trade, I have the Detroit Pistons sending to the Phoenix Suns Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, 2024 top 5 pick, 2028 first round pick, and some cap fillers to finish out the trade. And we have the Phoenix Suns sending Devin Booker plus any scraps you need to get the trade done to the Detroit Pistons. So now that the Pistons have their backcourt for the next 5+ years in Cade Cunningham, Devin Booker, we're going to fill out the rest of the roster. Trading Jalen Duren away, you have a hole at center. So my solution, we're going to go overpay for Nick Claxton. I'm going to go throw 4 years, $100 million at Nick Claxton. You might say $25 million a year for Nick Claxton. You're out of your mind. You got to remember, small market, mid-market teams like the Detroit Pistons, cap space is often irrelevant. You're not the Boston Celtics. You're not the Los Angeles Lakers where you always have stars on your roster and you're trying to stay under the cap to keep them. So teams like Detroit have this advantage where they can overpay really good basketball players, but who are not all-stars to come to their team. Now we got Cade Cunningham at point guard. We got Devin Booker at shooting guard. We got Nick Claxton at center. So we have 2 more forward spots to fill. We're going to go ahead, fill one of those spots internally with the Pistons restricted free agent Simone Fontecchio. He's going to end up commanding anywhere between $15 to $18 million per year. If any team decides to throw him an offer sheet, you're going to go ahead and match that. But we have one more starting spot to fill. We're going to go back to the trade market. We're going to find a team that needs to reboot, a rebuild, a guy who needs a change of scenery. We're targeting Andrew Wiggins and the Golden State Warriors as a trade partner here. Not sure how the cap numbers play out here, but this is why we have 20+ people in the finance department to figure this stuff out. Starting lineup of Cade Cunningham, Devin Booker, Simone Fontecchio, Andrew Wiggins, and Nick Claxton. Now we have a balanced lineup. We have rim protection, we have perimeter defenders, we have 3-point shooting, we have playmaking ability, and better yet, we have star power. I'd like to pick up a veteran backup point guard, a guy like Patrick Beverley or Kyle Lowry. We still got young guards like Marcus Sasser, Quentin Grimes, who are coming off the bench. Sasser, who's an instant hot pocket once he gets in the game. He starts to light up the scoreboard. As a backup center, I'm bringing in a Daniel Tice type, Mason Plumlee, Andre Drummond. That's the dream scenario, a 14-win team, hopefully into a playoff team. Now let's break down the more realistic route the Pistons probably will take to rebuild this roster, and I'll show you the best scenario possible. Pistons are expected to have $60+ million in cap space available. What good is that cap space if you're not going to use it? So let's get to spending. Biggest problem with the Pistons, they've been frugal with their money, and they have done a horrible job surrounding their young talent with veteran players. There are no adults in this locker room. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in a guy with championship pedigree, a guy who's seen it all and's been through it all. I'm unloading the Brinks truck for Klay Thompson. Yes, you might say Klay Thompson's washed, but he's the type of guy you need to surround Cade Cunningham with. Similar to what the Houston Rockets did to rebuild their team by bringing in veteran players like Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. Time to bring in some veteran players who will be competitive for this team. Klay Thompson, welcome to Detroit, buddy. In this scenario as well, Simone Fontecchio will remain a Detroit Piston. He's just the perfect complementary player you want to surround Cade Cunningham with. A guy who can knock down shots, shoot the 3 ball really well, a capable defender. I'm rolling out Cade Cunningham, Klay Thompson, Simone Fontecchio at the 1, 2, and 3. We're going to hit the trade market for the other wing position. You're going to target a team like the Sacramento Kings or the New Orleans Pelicans. Kings, they need to make a move because they're hanging around in NBA purgatory, and the Pelicans, they just have a logjam at wings. I can see the Pistons targeting a guy like Harrison Barnes, but I'm going to go to the Pelicans. I'm going to go get Brandon Ingram. Pelicans, they have a good problem. They have too many capable wings. They got Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram. You got to get off one. Not everybody can play. I think the Pistons could put themselves in prime positions to acquire Brandon Ingram. I don't think it would take a lot to get him. I think the Pistons are going to be reluctant to give up any of these 3 young guys in Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson. But I would toss the Pelicans Jalen Duren and some cap fillers and maybe some second-round picks for Brandon Ingram. Now we have a starting lineup of Cade Cunningham, Klay Thompson, Simone Fontecchio and Brandon Ingram. So now we have a hole at center. We're going to go into free agency to fill it. We're going to pry Isaiah Hartenstein from the New York Knicks. Do whatever you need to get him. Overpay him as such. He is the defensive anchor that will make this starting lineup go. In this scenario, the Pistons keep Jaden Ivey to run the second unit. I'm not ready to give up on Jaden Ivey. I saw what he did at the end of his rookie year, which was spectacular. Still a very special player in Jaden Ivey. They just need the right coach to unlock that potential. Going down the bench, you get to keep Isaiah Stewart, who can work as your hybrid backup big. He can play the 4, he can play the 5, he can fill in and start when need be. You also get to keep Asar Thompson, who, man, if he could develop his jumper just to be league average, this kid could be something special. One of the best two-way wings in the league. That about wraps it up. It's not easy fixing a 14-win team. I would love to hear your comments below. Please let me know how I did rebuilding the Detroit Pistons. Before I end this video, I want to pose a question. How would you guys go about fixing the Detroit Pistons, turning a 14-win team into a playoff team?